As Americans are forced to grapple with the brutal reality that the FBI were the only ones conspiring to kidnap the sitting governor of Michigan in 2020, details emerging from the lingering smoke of January 6th are also becoming impossible to ignore. The Department of Justice is still seemingly without answers for the American people, even though it's been 16 months since 2 pipe bombs were discovered on Capitol Hill on January 6th, prompting the evacuation of 2 congressional buildings, the Cannon House Office Building and parts of the Library of Congress. During a joint hearing before the Senate Rules Committee and Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee in February of 2021, former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund confirmed that the pipe bombs were the reason for the evacuation. Nevertheless, the Department of Justice and its Mockingbird media continue to push the outright lie that Congress was evacuated on January 6th because of the mass of people who'd gathered outside the Capitol building to protest what they believed to be a fraudulent election. Even after offering a $50,000 reward and plastering ominous-looking photos across the country, the FBI has so far been incapable of identifying a suspect, and yet the very same FBI had no problem hunting down and raiding the homes of peaceful Americans present in D.C. on January 6th. Carolyn Younger, the inconspicuously described D.C. resident, first discovered the pipe bomb and alerted authorities. According to Younger, she just so happened to be at the right place at the right time, digging around behind dumpsters on her way back from doing laundry. Because doesn't everyone dumpster dive on laundry day?
Well, you don't want to go down as the person who evacuates a city block for a hoax.
Younger said in an interview with WISN 12 News in Milwaukee.
But at the same time, there was just enough of that gut instinct that said, this isn't a place that you'd put a hoax.
At the time, Younger was also a project manager for FirstNet Authority, a public-private partnership between AT&T and first responders to prioritize emergency communications during an attack or disaster. On December 8, 2020, the FBI awarded FirstNet Authority with a $92 million contract. The 5-year deal represented the largest commitment by a law enforcement or public safety agency in the entire history of FirstNet. In an interview with Madison Magazine on January 12th, Younger explained how some of her previous experience came in handy on January 6th. Even though I'd done some counterterrorism analysis a decade ago, she said, what helped me recognize the device was a scene from the Terminator movie.
Hasta la vista.
Nothing to see here, baby. On October 13, 2020, Stephen M. D'Antuono, a man with a proven history of formulating domestic false flag terror operations, was named Assistant Director in charge of the Washington Field Office by FBI Director Christopher Wray. The appointment came days after 2 innocent Americans were entrapped within his Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping hoax. Surely it's just a coincidence that D'Antuono was given a coveted position in D.C. mere months before the worst attack on America's constitutional republic since the War of 1812? In the world of counterterrorism, coincidence is becoming even more commonplace. Another crazy coincidence is the story that Michigan GOP Chair Ron Weiser, through former Michigan Congressman Kerry Benevolio, offered Bobby Powell, a J6 journalist, $200,000 in exchange for suppressing his footage of the Capitol agitators. Powell's recording captured the yet-to-be-identified individuals with face coverings and communications equipment as they pulled windows out of the west side of the Capitol building. He refused the $200,000 bribe framed as an offer in the spirit of The Godfather's Don Corleone.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Powell said he was told to stop talking about the video you recorded in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, or you could be killed. Just 6 weeks later, on January 6, 2022, Garrett James Smith packed his backpack with what the Pinellas County Bomb Squad would later describe as a nail-studded pipe bomb, along with a ski mask, and headed to a rally where Bobby Powell would be speaking for imprisoned January 6er Green Beret Jeremy Brown. Detained unconstitutionally, Brown, who never entered the Capitol building, was arrested on misdemeanor trespass after refusing to work as an FBI informant. A Apparently spooked by law enforcement, Smith ran but was chased down and arrested by Pinellas County Sheriff's officers before he could detonate his device. On February 16th, 1 week after the FBI took over the investigation, felony charges against Smith were dropped when the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives determined the items he possessed that day were legal novelty devices. Smith is now a free man, along with the spooky-looking rioters in Bobby Powell's video and the oh-so-hard to track down pipe bomber from Capitol Hill. With Jeremy Brown and 774 other defendants from J6 having been arrested and reported 2,000 to 3,000 more arrests coming, the Department of Justice is asking for an additional $34 million and 130 new personnel to handle the unreal workload they've created for themselves. As long as the likes of Christopher Wray, Stephen D. Antuono, and others are planning the next entrapment extravaganza from the helm of the FBI, their job security is looking better than ever. But if you think things are looking good now, just wait until they cut a bigger deal with Skynet, FirstNet, whatever.